Welcome back to BST, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode. We are in the middle of no sports on TV. It is not a good time of the year. Pretty much any sport that we watch is over. Wimbledon ended today. That was kind of a source of some competition there, but not that entertaining.
What about WNBA?
I like what Caitlin Clark has brought to the game, but I will never be that engaged in it.
That's not capturing your attention enough.
Maybe if Caitlin Clark's playing, just because she brings some spice to the game that isn't there.
I'll tell you one thing, because I know this isn't a Caitlin Clark show right now, but if her team could hold on to the ball, she makes some crazy passes that I think she had 13 assists today, but man, I watched a little bit of that, and I watched at least three or four other attempts where she moves the ball in transition, throws it right there, and they just can't hold on to the ball. Like, they're just, where she puts it, the team just isn't used to playing with someone like her.
No,
they just can't make the play.
She's completely changed the game.
Yeah.
And that's why she's fun to watch, because pretty much it's not we're not talking about WWE.
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing? But anyway, nothing going on in sports, nothing to really talk about. We're close. We're very close to the NFL season starting, which will feel like heaven once we get there. But I feel like every podcast has to talk about the GOATs of each sport. And today we're going to build each of our Mount Rushmores of the four major sports in the U.S. The MLB, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. I don't want any soccer fans to get mad that...
You don't want us talking about soccer.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So.
I know Messi, I know Ronaldo, that's it. I'm sure one of them would be on the Mount Rushmore of sport GOATs, but we're gonna talk about what we know, and that's those four sports. So, where would you like to begin? What sport? Should we just talk about the NHL, get it out of the way?
Sure.
It's like the simplest.
Yeah.
I have Wayne Gretzky. I assume you have Wayne Gretzky as well.
Of course.
It's so simple. I mean, most points ever, most assists ever, not most goals ever now, but it's simple to me. He has the cups.
I mean,
nobody's touching him.
The bottom line is he has 936 more points than second place.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah.
And if you took away all of his goals, he's got 42 assists more than anybody else has total points.
That's crazy. It's simple. I mean, I don't know how you could argue anybody else.
We've had the conversation before where if Gretzky played now or if somebody played back then, whatever, what he was doing back then within that era, I mean, it's simple. Nobody's come close to it.
Yeah, nobody else did it.
So, enough said.
I mean, if Lemieux's the one who didn't stay healthy. Like, if he stayed healthy.
Lemieux could have had a shot.
If he stayed healthy.
Certainly on goals. I don't know on points. I don't know if he'd have caught him on assists, but I don't know. But, no, Lemieux is the one question mark we'll never know just because of injury and illness.
Yeah.
But, yeah, easy one. NHL, Wayne Gretzky.
I mean, listen to this. 4 cups. 9 Hart trophies, which is the NHL MVP, if you don't know. 10 Art Ross trophies, which is the scoring leader. 2 Conn Smythes. 5 Lady Bings. 3 Ted Lindsays. 13-time NHL First All-Star Team. 18-time NHL All-Star Game Selection. Hall of Fame, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, his number is retired league-wide. That's all you have to know.
Well, and how many seasons he play?
I don't know exactly.
Like 20 maybe.
A while.
I mean,
20 seasons.
20 seasons. Yager, who's in second place, played until he was like 46. He was still in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like crazy. And he still
couldn't touch him.
953, whatever it was, behind him. So, I mean, that one's the easy one. No debate there.
It's undeniable.
Yeah, no debate there.
The left head on the Mount Rushmore of sport goats is Wayne Gretzky. I think NFL is the next easiest one. Tom Brady. Pretty undeniable.
I don't like it, but
I've heard arguments for others. Obviously, recently, Mahomes being the GOAT is just ridiculous to me. I've heard that one quite a bit. I don't understand that. Why that narrative is being pushed. It's like he's not even done with his career yet. And like how can he be the GOAT already? Because he's won 3 Super Bowls. Brady has 7. Brady has all the records. They're like, we'll talk about some guys later that they don't have all the records, or as many rings, but Brady just dominates every category.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to the NFL GOAT, rings are huge. Not as much maybe in other sports, but if you're a quarterback, you're expected to win rings, and Tom Brady has 7 of them. Like I said, he has most yards, most touchdowns.
Well, and he did it early and late.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I've seen people say like Montana. I mean, he has the rings, but it's also just a different time period. Like quarterbacks didn't put up numbers like in Brady's era. I mean, like Dan Marino kind of broke the game a little bit with the numbers that he put up.
Well, and that could speak to Dan Marino a little bit just because the rules were different.
Yeah.
There, you could kind of hold a guy more. Defensive backs could pressure wide receivers further downfield. There was a lot more contact allowed, fewer pass interference. There wasn't the benefit of instant replay to overturn calls as well. I mean, just a lot of different things. So that almost what Marino did, that almost makes it sound more impressive if
he was a game changer.
Ring. But sometimes, I mean, it is a team sport, and that's a tough one for like GOAT because different positions. I mean, your Michael Strahans of the world or whoever else, they didn't play quarterback; they played defensive line. But the quarterback gets all the attention, so it ought to be like GOAT quarterback, GOAT running back. But then you're just
I think at the end of the day, you look at teams and it's like, if you don't have a good quarterback, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So I think that's just it's the most important position.
It's true.
And I think at this current level that Mahomes is playing right now, don't get me wrong, great quarterback, has won the 3 Super Bowls, but these past few seasons he's not been playing like the GOAT, just statistically. So I think if he cannot get back to his MVP form, I don't think he's going to touch the records because he's just not going to play as long. Brady played till he was 45 years old. Like, it's not going to happen.
An anomaly.
It's not going to happen for Mahomes. I don't care what you say. He's not going to be able to play that long.
No.
And 7 rings is a lot. It's going to be hard for him to reach that.
That's tough for anyone.
I think Mahomes has potential, but I think Brady will stay on the Mount Rushmore for a while.
Very little debate there.
Next to Gretzky is Tom Brady.
Okay.
NBA or MLB? MLB. All right.
Who do you got?
I got
top one for me.
It's going to be controversial. I got Barry Bonds. Now, let's just get right to it. The steroids. I view steroids in the MLB a lot like I view time periods in other sports. It was just the time. It's not like he's the only guy who is using steroids. It's just not the truth. I mean, there were so many other guys who were doing the same thing, so I'm not going to really hold that against him. It's just like he was the best at using steroids, and he was still a good player before that.
Well, maybe this is the best way to, because I agree to a sense, because I mean, I think, I don't know what studies are on steroids, but what I'd like to know, and maybe that's something to research too, did it improve hand-eye coordination? I mean, it was a power thing, right? Like,
I think you still be good at hitting the ball.
So to me, you still had to be pretty good at reading pitches and, hitting the ball, making contact. It just allowed him to hit him out of the park more, right? And, so so there's a lot of that where I think it was the era. Clearly, you can look back and see how many other people were using steroids in the same era.
Yeah.
It's very much to me, I equate it a little bit to Lance Armstrong in cycling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lance Armstrong, obviously blood doping, right? He did the blood transfusions. You know, he did the blood bags, did all that stuff, right? But if you've listened to like what is it, Hamilton, his teammate Hamilton's biography or autobiography, he talks about it. If you didn't do it in that era, you weren't even cracking the top 50, maybe the top 100, because that's how many were doing it. So you look at how much he won by while doing that, while others were doing that. He was the best at it, but was still the best. That's the way I kind of see it. So maybe that kind of fits.
I agree
a little bit. Baseball is difficult though. It's like ML or NFL where you got pitchers that don't bat. You've got so I mean it's a line between the best pitcher to me and the best hitter.
Here's my argument with pitchers. They pitch every however many games, like 5 games or however many it is.
The rotation.
Yeah, the rotation. And I also think baseball's tough because I know I value championships when I'm thinking of GOATs.
Yeah.
Bonds didn't win one.
Yeah.
So, but I think baseball is maybe the most teammate-driven sport. Like, if you're just, what did Bonds play? Right field, left field? Or was designated hitter?
Think so until later on in his career. I think he was outfielder.
Yeah, and so if you're just an outfielder, obviously he's one of the best hitters of all time, but there's only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to be able to hit a home run every game. Baseball is everybody has to contribute because there's no consistency in baseball. Literally, a good batting average is 30% of the time you get a hit. Like that is like by far the worst success rate out of any sport. So for me, I don't value championships as much in this. I think you got to look at it a player to player level.
I agree, and I think that I agree with Barry Bonds, but I thought of another one that's a controversial.
Okay, go ahead.
Pete Rose.
Okay.
Most hits all time.
Yeah.
Right? Most hits all time. He got banned for gambling, not steroids. There's nothing to his name.
Wasn't that when he was a coach as well?
It was when he was a coach.
So it wasn't even
as a player, right? There's no negative negative reports. I was going to say negative tests. There was a ton of negative tests. There's no negative reporting about him from like that cheating perspective. There's maybe he gambled while he was a player, but I think he was busted as a coach gambling, which by the way, I don't think they can prove he ever bet against his team. So it was always for his team. So, I mean, still gambling, shouldn't do it against the rules. I get it. But most hits all time. And I mean, that guy was he's got a claim. He's got a claim for it, and it's controversial. But so you got the most hits all time versus really the most home runs. And neither are really recognized, right? Because both are kind of clouded, right? So but that's who I'd probably put up there.
I think the biggest thing that makes me think Bonds is the GOAT. Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
Most intentional walks ever with 688. And I believe there was a time, like in the early 2000s, when he was at the height of his steroid powers, hitting a bunch of home runs. It's like if you had bases loaded and Bonds was up to bat, you would intentionally walk him. You would take the run because you knew he had so much power. And I get it, the steroids, he shouldn't have done them, but I just think there is no way that he's not. I think there's a few players, because saying that he's the best hitter ever that's hard to quantify.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the best hitter, it's like, well, do you count hits or batting average, or do you count hitting for singles, or just hitting for contact, or hitting for power? So, but I think overall, in terms of dominance and teams being scared to play somebody, it's him.
The beauty of baseball really is that you have a lot of different players known for things. Cal Ripken Jr. with the streak. A lot of players like I read something about Tony Gwynn.
Never struck out.
I mean, he never hardly ever struck out. He had more assists on his college basketball career than he had strikeouts in the MLB. And he played
That's insane.
He played for like I don't know how many,
a few years,
15 years, right? In the or more in the MLB. I mean, he had a long MLB career versus at most 4 years in basketball, and I don't think he was a 4-year college basketball player. So you think of that,
that's like a crazy stat.
So I mean, you got Nolan Ryan with no hitters. You just got a lot of players that
I do think like the Babe Ruth argument I don't like. It's like I think at a certain point you gotta compare eras, and you cannot convince me that Babe Ruth, if he was put into today's era baseball, or like even just like 20 years ago in baseball, like that he would do what he did. And Babe Ruth, legend, one of the best players to ever play the game, and same with a lot of players back then. It's a different era. They were great for their era, but I think at a certain point it's outdated and you cannot include them.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a different game. And we got to go based on the game that is played that we know in the modern era. So I think Bonds is there. But that one or the NBA is probably the most honestly, the MLB is probably the most controversial because there's no set player.
Yeah, I mean, who comes to mind? It's tough. Up for debate.
Although I will say, the current track that Ohtani's on, if he continues to pitch and hit at the level that he has shown, I mean, I feel like there's no way he doesn't end as the GOAT. Because it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
So I think there's potential there for him to join the Mount Rushmore. Lastly, the NBA. Maybe the most controversial and most widely debated GOAT conversation.
Maybe, to me, not controversial at all, but debated, certainly.
Okay, I think it would be fun here. Let me just start by saying I think Jordan's the GOAT.
Okay.
But I will debate on LeBron's behalf, and you will debate on Jordan's behalf.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and give your spiel.
All right. So I'm gonna actually. I think you ought to try to.
I ought to try.
You ought to try to defend.
Okay.
LeBron.
I'm not a LeBron guy. Yeah. I don't like him. I shouldn't say I don't like him. I don't.
Let's just put it this way. Respect on all sides. This is just a debate.
I think this is...
It's not discounting what they've done.
I think they each have their claims to fame in this discussion.
Yes.
Obviously. LeBron has all the records. Highest scoring player ever. But this is where I get caught up is the rings. He still has 4, which is nothing to scoff at. That's more than Larry Bird, and he's considered a winner. So I still think he can hold on to that. He has 4 MVPs. Probably one of the most dominant players in the early 2010s during his prime. 20-time All-Star. The list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably going to break almost every statistical record by the time he retires in like 2 years or a year or whenever he has. So I think that's what LeBron fans point to, that he has all the records. He has 4 championships. How does that not make him the GOAT? Go ahead.
So now Jordan, or you want me to ask?
Go ahead.
Well, he's not the GOAT because he's not the GOAT. Okay.
Okay.
Because the GOAT, everyone knows the GOAT is MJ. Okay. Everyone knows that.
Okay.
All right? So, for example, all right, I will relate this. Michael Jordan. Here's what when you compare the two. Michael Jordan played 7 less seasons which equates to 490 less games.
Okay.
And in that, he has 2 more rings, 2 more finals MVPs, 1 more MVP of the regular season, 1 more defensive player of the year, 9 more scoring titles, 3 more steals titles than LeBron. Okay. Those, because otherwise, obviously LeBron's ahead, right?
Okay.
Because he's longevity, right? Because so in those 490 games, I didn't break down where he'd be in assists and whatnot, but different leagues, I understand, different rules.
Yep.
Outside of the intangibles that Michael Jordan clearly has, and by that I mean like killer instinct, give me the ball when the game's on the line. You can't point at LeBron and say he does that. Michael Jordan did it consistently and undefeated in finals. When you put it to championships, I get it. It's hugely impressive that LeBron's made it there so many times.
10 times, yeah.
Total, give him that. I will completely give him that. It's something very Brady-esque, right? Making it to these things. However, supporting cast that he's played with in a lot of those, there's a debate that maybe he had some super teams around him, more so than Jordan. However, that's discounting Scottie Pippen, and you can't do that.
Yep.
Right. So, but there's a sentiment that, you know, is different when you draft the players versus they leave in free agency to form a super team, right? Yeah. That is almost a negative tone to it, right? But one of the things I ran I thought was kind of interesting. So we talk about the 490 more games that LeBron played, right? So if you take LeBron's career points, 42,184 in 1,562 games. So that's, like you said, 27, or I don't know if you said it on here, but his career average is 27 points per game. So MJ right now trails LeBron by 9,892 points. Okay. If MJ played those 490 games in the difference, if his career went that long, so MJ's career point average is 30.1 per game as a career. Okay. He would only need to average 20.1 points a game in those 490 games to equal what LeBron is doing. Okay. Which you'd have to think if Jordan kept going, he probably would have averaged 20 points. That's I agree. Not very tough, right? And what Jordan did, taking 2 seasons off, if I was a Houston Rockets fan, I'd be like, well, these were just kind of gifted to us because he retired. Because he wins 3, retires early, wants to play baseball, doesn't work out, decides, you know what, I'm going to come back. And how many players have we seen that take 2 years off of playing professional sport, come back into that sport, and pick right up where they left off? It's unprecedented. I just think there's a reason kids wear Jordans. There's a reason his logo's on the damn jerseys that LeBron wears. You know, so he ascended to legendary status, and he's just the greatest of all time. It just is. Watching him live, you just knew he was gonna kill you. Yeah, and you were just like, you know, you were hoping he would lose his cool and get ejected or something. That, you know, I watched one game where my team beat him because he got a tech and they kicked him out. It was the second one. I was like, sweet. Yeah. we got Jordan out of the way. I mean, because shit, he gets sick and he has his best game of his life. So you can't, it's Jordan hands down.
This is real PTSD coming from a Jazz fan.
It's I don't give a shit if he pushed off. He was going to make it no matter what. It didn't matter. Yeah. He didn't have to push. No. I think he did push. To be fair, I think he did. I just don't think he pushed enough to get a call. Yeah. But it didn't matter anyway. I mean, that guy just could make shots. And he played in an era where teams created Jordan rules. What did that mean? You go to the rim in a league where it was go to the hoop. The 3-point shot was more of a bonus. It wasn't the norm. It was go hard to the basket, and it was knock him on his ass. That was the Jordan rules. Detroit, all those years. The reason it took him so long to get past Detroit was because that's what they did. They beat him. So what did he do? He got tough. He got stronger. Just watch some of those videos of just hard dunks that Jordan does. LeBron is a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenom. He's the size of Karl Malone with 10 times the athleticism.
Yeah.
And Karl Malone could knock guys around. And LeBron bounces off of people like a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
And it's like that guy flops more than anyone. And it's like, dude, that's what he is doing, flopping. He should be doing that to other people. That should be them.
The problem.
Falling.
The problem. I think that's not necessarily just LeBron. I think that's the game of basketball that has changed.
It is.
And it's kind of forcing players to do that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I agree.
It's
I
the
hate it.
era.
I hate it
It's
so
the
much.
era.
I hate when players do that, and LeBron especially.
The heyday was just the 90s, and I'm sorry you didn't get to see it. It was just the 90s into the 2000s. I think, I didn't have as much respect for Kobe Bryant as I think he's an honorable mention in all of this too, just because Kobe's knock was everybody felt like he tried to just be Michael Jordan, but in doing that, he actually had a lot more plays that were Jordan-esque to me than even LeBron. I would probably put Bryant above LeBron in that. I would. I mean, I just feel like if
can't agree with that one.
If there are players historically that, who are you going to give the ball to in the clutch to get you the bucket you need? And Jordan is far and away above everybody in that category or in that scenario. Second to me, I don't know. Kobe, LeBron, I just don't feel like LeBron wants the ball when the game's on the line. I feel like
there have been I mean he has his game winners. If you play this long, you're gonna have them. But there's also just like the Ray Allen shot that came off LeBron miss.
Yeah,
there's those moments, and
but Jordan. I mean, Jordan had players that made key buckets at key times on his championship runs.
Yeah.
It just made it, those key shots those players hit just secured the championship earlier. Mm-hmm. It just prevented them from playing another game.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It wasn't like game 7 hits or anything like that. It just, so you can't take away from the supporting cast Jordan played with. He did play, great coach, good players around him, but he didn't even, in my mind, necessarily need them. He didn't defer to them. He took the ball.
Yeah.
So,
and
Jordan's up there.
That's
no debate.
Yeah. Here's the thing about LeBron. I don't think he's the GOAT. I would rather have Jordan. LeBron, to me, he's a phenomenal athlete, like you said. He's not particularly good at anything but driving to the basket because he's so athletic. Like, he's not a phenomenal shooter. I don't want to hear no LeBron fan saying he is. He's just not. He's a good shooter, but he's not anything crazy. There have been multiple game winners, and he misses. He obviously has like LeBronto, where he hit that shot against Toronto. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, and I just think like his 3-point shooting's not that great. I don't think Jordan was a phenomenal 3-point shooter anyway, but the times are different.
Totally. It wasn't a shot you were regularly looking for. I mean, certainly it was like if a team in the 90s shot 10 threes in a game, it was like, whoa, that's a lot of threes that you're shooting. It just seemed like most players were like 1 for 3, 2 for 4. There was the game that Jordan had. I think he hit like 7.
Really?
And it was just like, oh my gosh, and now it's like, every sixth man in the league comes off the bench and hits 6 or 7 or could. Mm-hmm. It's just a different game. Just the long range shot. Everybody's developed that wasn't being developed back then.
And here's the thing. I think, like I said, Jordan's a GOAT. If LeBron somehow gets to 6 or gets to 5 even, it gets really hard to keep saying that Jordan's a GOAT.
No, it doesn't at all.
It does.
No, in my even no. Anyway,
we can't discuss every other player on the Mount Rushmore in terms of statistics and then ignore the fact that LeBron, if he won another, would be one less championship than Jordan. Leader
Yeah.
in every major statistic.
I think the difference is, yeah, I mean, what LeBron just has the stats because of the longevity.
But I think that has to be included. I think that's
You don't
part of it.
discount it. Yeah, he's managed to stay healthy, and there's probably, I guess, if you went back and looked at load management, I don't know how many games he's missed each year.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you go look at Jordan, I think Jordan has. I would venture to say Jordan probably played more complete seasons than LeBron.
Probably.
But because I just think it was a mentality difference. I think the mentality of the league in the 90s, I think, is just what makes the lore so much more. Like, now they're all friends, everybody's buddies. You got to be all friendly. I mean, there's sportsmanship that always existed. There was a camaraderie, I think, with players, because you got them together on the dream team, and the competition level rose through the roof because all these guys were just used to competing against each other. Then they kind of became friends from there, but that drove them to want to beat each other more.
Yeah.
Not and it seems like that the mentality, and I think the super team thing is dying down, and it's going into another era of balance and support, and you need role players are more important. But back in the 90s, it was, Barkley, late in his career, in a desperate move like Karl Malone, tried to join a team to win a ring before it was over.
Yep.
Earlier, though, nobody would be doing that. The Jordan and Pippen, like I said, they were drafted, so that's just the team you were on. No superstars were looking to form super teams. It was like, no, I want to beat you. I don't want to join you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Spurs. They had David Robinson, and they draft Tim Duncan. And, they draft Tony Parker, Ginobili. Everybody was drafted. Nobody was a free agent signing.
I agree.
So anyway, I think that leads to it. The toughness and the competition.
And I think, I know we've talked about this before. It's like Jordan defined his era. There's no doubt. Like, it was the Jordan era. Obviously, you have the Kobe and Shaq era, and you have the Bird and Magic era.
Yeah.
I think and I think the difference between the Bird and Magic era is I think it's really hard to say either one defined it. I think with LeBron and Curry, I think there's an argument that Curry defined the era more than LeBron. And Curry obviously had the better team for most of those years that they faced each other. But with Durant and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all those guys. So I get that, but I think there's definitely an argument that it's Curry's era. And if you're the GOAT of basketball and you don't even define your own era, that's kind of crazy. But like, I don't know. It's close.
Because you can't, we can't discount what came before. Even Jordan, like those guys laid built the foundation that everybody's on. Like, if they don't come and do their thing, you don't get there. Wilt Chamberlain, I mean, I don't care. I don't care who you are. 100 points in a freaking game.
That's insane.
Insane. Like, I don't even know. Look at the shooting they do now and how fast paced the game is.
Kobe got to
81, and I was like, holy cow, I can't believe he got to 81.
And he's still 19 away.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
that's a ton of
the 100-point game is still pretty impressive. I mean, I know there was a lot of foul shots, I think, in that, but still, that's an impressive feat. I don't care what era you're in. Because I would almost think back then, how often were they even scoring 100 points in that generation? It's like, as a team, you score 100 points as an individual. I think there's a lot of great players in the league.
There's also an interesting aspect that it's like some of the top scorers in the league's history like don't even get a shot at the conversation. It's just LeBron and Jordan. So in a way, it's like, it's not necessarily, I mean, I guess it's similar to the NFL, how Breeze is up there in touchdown passes, but he doesn't get any because he didn't win. But I think guys like Kareem, who won and he's second all time in points, and they don't really even get a look. So
well, and you know, Karl Malone, for all the stuff he did, it's like he's not in the conversation because they didn't win a ring, and he quit after the one, you know, after joining the Lakers there, and for one season trying to go for a ring, made it to the finals, lost to the Pistons. You know, so didn't win it on a second attempt. Could have tried again, was healthy enough to do it, and honestly would have. I mean, come back. I think he was a couple hundred points behind the scoring title, and
yeah,
he left it there. He didn't come back and try to go for it. Otherwise, it would have been Karl Malone that LeBron was breaking the record on. So I mean, you know, Karl could have had the chance to be the all-time leading scorer in league history, and he was like, you know, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I had my shot, try to win a championship. I had 3 chances, I didn't win it.
Well, that's the thing about like LeBron. I mean, he doesn't get it done in Cleveland, and then he goes to Miami, and I think we can all say Miami was a kind of a disappointment.
Well, I mean, when you sit on the stage and you go, "We're not going to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5," you start boasting about 6, 7 championships in Miami, and then you deliver on 3. I guess was it 3 or 2?
I think
Was it 2?
Yeah.
It was 2, wasn't it?
Well, they beat the Spurs.
They beat the Spurs, and then they beat the Warriors. No, he beat the Warriors as the
He
Cavs.
beat the Warriors once.
He has 4 rings, right? Or is it 5?
He won 1 with the Lakers, 1 with the Cavs,
2 with the
2 with
Heat.
and 2 with the Heat.
He has 4 rings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go there, you boast. Even you didn't get
Which
to
is
the
still
3
good.
or 4. I mean, you won 2 out of 3 in Miami.
Yeah.
Right? Because the first one you made, you lost to the Mavs. And that one was kind of I think that was probably like the biggest disappointment for everyone, is that he goes there, they make it to the finals, and they lose to the Mavs, and you're like, whoa, what the heck? And, you know, after all those years, he made it with the Cavs and just got swept. You know, I think that's the thing. I don't know. And he didn't have great teams in Cleveland, and he definitely carried them that
Especially
far.
on the second
he carried them that far, but then he just couldn't get it done.
I mean, I guess his like biggest moment was the block on Iguodala in the finals, Game 7 against the Warriors.
Yeah, that was.
But you look at the guy who hit the kind of dagger shot, Kyrie Irving. It wasn't him.
Yeah,
it was Kyrie. So
I'm telling you,
it's like you can just point to all these times in his career. It's like he wasn't the guy who hit the shot.
No.
And I think that's a big edge that Jordan has, and that's why I feel he's on the Mount Rushmore.
It's killer instinct. Jordan just had a killer instinct. It was just Jordan.
Honestly, I guess you can kind of point to Jordan's last few years in
the Wizards.
Yeah. But like the Lakers with LeBron, it's definitely been disappointing.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're chasing the championship.
And I think that's the biggest difference. He goes to the Lakers, and it was a move to try to win championships. Yeah. Jordan had an ownership stake in the Wizards, right? And then he just went to play for them because it was just like he went in there, and nobody thought at all 38-year-old Jordan was gonna try to bring him in. Yeah. They were not a player away, even a Jordan away, right? Because I mean, as great of a player as you are, you're not going to get your team there without some support. You have
to have some.
Nobody's won it all on their own, right? Obviously. So yeah, I think that's where the Laker people don't even remember the Wizards thing with Jordan. It's just like, yeah, whatever. He already won his 6 championships. We were just like happy to see him come back and play. Just watch Jordan play because he still made some great plays. Still didn't do enough to damage his 30 points per game average for career. So I mean, he didn't hurt himself from that regard, but it was just more of like, oh yeah, just love that he's back, and he has a couple seasons, right?
Yep.
The move to LA for LeBron was like, we're gonna win more rings, and he won one.
Yeah,
with the team that is the Dodgers of the
it's definitely a
NBA, right? Like they're the team that probably can afford the luxury tax the most.
And
right?
I mean, the one that they did win was in the bubble, so there's an asterisk there. I think it's a fine championship.
I figured that would be the one that Jazz would actually get, so that there'd be an asterisk. and if
there had to be
one, but yeah.
Okay, so the Mount Rushmore is Gretzky, Brady. Are you gonna have Bonds on yours or Pete Rose or somebody else?
Maybe you can ask your listeners to put it in the comments.
Yeah,
Who
that one's the toughest one
Rose
for sure.
or who do people think should be the MLB?
Yeah,
Who should be the MLB?
I don't know. I still think it's Bonds, and
Rose, yeah,
and then Jordan, obviously, but could be LeBron. I get it if you say LeBron. I get it if you say Jordan. But yeah, that was pretty fun to go through that.
Yeah.
We'll see. This would be like a fun episode to look back in like 100 years and see where it stands.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of the times you don't think that it could get any better than we have it as far as sports goats go. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell us who your GOAT is for each of these sports. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace out.